What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast about nothing, brought to you by Best. We are your hosts. I'm the plus size assassin.
I'm Pingo.
And we're getting back into our entrepreneurial shit and bring you guys the keys to success. So I thought it was only fitting that we bring in one of the most successful people I know. We got our boy Samster in the house today.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So you want to properly introduce yourself?
So my name is Sam Cornejo. I am a, engineer, entrepreneur, 9 to 5.
Business owner.
Founder a couple times. Some successful, some not. But here we are.
This man does it all. So there's a few people that I have that I know that I brag about. And you're one of those ones on the top of the list.
Oh, you're making me tear up right now.
Like, everybody knows my engineer homie Sam. At some point or another, I've had a story of my homie, the engineer Sam. And you and I have always had a pretty good relationship, obviously.
Yep.
But I think a lot of it has to do because our mindset is very similar.
Hmm.
I think some of our early conversations was very money and success focused. And I think we share that trait.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you have all these things you've accomplished, and we're around the same age, right?
I think exactly. Yeah.
Exactly the same age. There you go. So I want to just start from the bottom, and I want you to give these guys the keys to success. Because I know I have other friends, you know this shit. I have other friends that are engineers, but they
not
come
at your
nowhere.
level.
Yeah, it's nowhere close to what you do, nowhere close to what you've done. So I want you to hit them with the keys to success. So we took a very similar route, very traditional, going to school and fucking finishing college and shit like that. So let's just start there.
With the engineering, I mean the main thing when I was going to school, finishing up my bachelor's, it really was the internship. So any future engineers out there. Any interview, any career, they're going to talk about your schooling for about 5-10 minutes. The other 50 minutes is going to be your experience. And if you're coming out of with a bachelor's and you have no experience, then you're not going to have anything to talk about for 50 minutes. So strongly suggest that. I had some friends, real smart, just brainiacs that were going to school with me, getting much better grades. But going out of college, they could not find a job. And I easily found, a great opportunity just because, when I was going to school, I was actually working as an intern somewhere and they were just focusing on school. So that's definitely huge when it comes to coming out of college experience the right way.
I definitely fucked up there because I didn't really have the opportunity to do it, but I didn't take any internships, and I didn't set myself up the way I probably should have.
I know. So right now we're on internships. Being that I'm kind of in college right now, going through that. I see internships as I get it's a sacrifice for the future. But if I'm doing an internship, then I can't really work as much, so I'm not making as much money to support myself. So how did you balance that?
Pretty much that way. It's an investment in your own future. I mean, at the end, if you have a side job or a part-time job while going to school, I mean, that's only going to pay you so much money that your future is not there. So if you have to make a little sacrifice at that moment for those 1 to 2 years while you're finishing up your degree in order to set yourself up for your actual career, then, crazy not to do it.
Yeah. And I think for you specifically, you're in a situation where you live at home, you have most of your stuff taken care of. You really only pay for your car and whatever expenses you have to go out. So I think that's where you have to take advantage of shit like that, where you have the ability to say, all right, fuck it, I can maybe not work for a year or two and get these internships in. And
was it just one internship and they liked you and you stayed there, or was it hopping around to get, I guess, more experience?
So I had 2 internships. One of them, I just had it for the summer, just what you would typically call an internship. The second one, they actually kept me my whole senior year of my university. And then with the understanding that as soon as I graduated, they would give me an opportunity. So which was a great company. Really felt lucky to be there. It was much smaller, which I would recommend early in your career. Not going for those like big names, but going somewhere small. Because when you go into a smaller company, you wear a lot of hats, and that really kind of broadens your mind and allows you to learn a lot of different parts of the company or the industry. Once you learn that, then you can go after like the big boys, which is kind of the plan that, not purposely, because no one told me this.
Yeah.
Like no one tells a lot of people from our neighborhoods this, but go to a small company, learn as much as you can, really like start hustling, and then eventually move into that big boy where the money is.
Yeah, I like that. Start off in a small company, diversify your talents, and really get to know the field, and then you can kind of pick and choose what major aspect you want to get into once you get into those bigger companies. So we first met working together, Parks and Rec, where this dumbass is at now.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of our early conversations were with school as well, because we were in the same boat. We were both in college and doing our thing. And I remember a lot of it was you were cramming, or not even cramming, but you were studying and doing all this homework late at night in the library and shit. So how were you successful in school? Like, what did it take? Because I'm sure a lot of people think that shit's easy, and I think, come to find out, especially if you're doing something like engineering, it's hours that you put in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So what helped you succeed as far as taking these, pretty difficult courses?
So what kept me going is, surprisingly enough, I don't like school. I was never a fan of it. High school, it wasn't for me. But I liked money. So I understood that the relationship between getting your schooling and getting some money. Yep. So I had that motivation. And then situation that happened when I was graduating high school is my family. I told them that I was going to go for engineering. And by this time, I have older brothers and sisters, so that they understood what that took. And they actually talked to me, trying to convince me not to do it.
Really?
Yeah, because they thought I would fail. And that I would become demoralized, and that I would quit, and that that was going to be it for me in school, because they knew I didn't like school also.
Yeah.
So a lot of those like long nights where I would like want to sleep at 1 or 2 in the morning, I would think about that, how like they didn't like believe in me, and that was my motivation, proving them wrong. I feed off that really most of the time. So it was a good feeling doing that. Also, I had strategies within school. I always kind of stuck with the smart kids, or the ones that didn't have a job, because they could spend more time studying. Yeah. I had a job because I had to pay for my car insurance and my everything that I had to pay for. So I will always kind of stick with them. That way, they all they're studying, I would get it. What they spend 4 hours doing, I would get it in 2 hours, being right next to them. Yeah. So a lot of little strategies just to push forward and move ahead. But there wasn't a semester where I didn't want to quit. I just didn't want to not do anything with my life either.
That's great. I didn't know that story, actually. Damn, we've known each other for a couple of years. I didn't know that one. I didn't know that one. But I do remember, hearing that you were up 2, 3, 4 in the morning, or not even sleeping. You'd crash in your car and get ready for class and shit. And that was just crazy to me. Like, for somebody who also doesn't really care for school, I was like, fuck that. My first thing was, I'm not doing this shit. Fuck that. Like, if I can get by with the B, I'm not going to try and get the A, because who cares? And like, obviously, you see the disparity in fucking success right now. Like, I'm over here trying to create podcasts, and he's out here fucking expanding businesses and shit.
Yeah, so there's a couple drivers. Another one also was, I grew up pretty impoverished. So it was a struggle, where it was just always a concern when the money was coming, how much there was going to be, how much food we were going to have in the fridge. So definitely, like, I grew up with that mentality of always worrying about money. So now all I think about is making money, and how am I going to make more money, and then how am I going to continue to push forward to make even more money. So it's just I was, since 5 years old, I had that mentality of what I didn't have. So now not to sound
never get back
too bad,
that.
but you know, never again.
Yeah. No, yeah. Completely agree on that one. So now you hit the books, you did the fucking work, you put in the time, you graduate. What came next?
So my first, like I said, my first company, small organization, learned a lot about the industry of manufacturing. Wore a lot of different hats. Great company. Definitely would go back in a higher role now, but would go back. After that, I had kind of my first taste of entrepreneurship. So this company had its owner. The owner was more focused on this $1 million wine business that he has in Oregon. So he wasn't very present, right?
Okay.
So we had a president of operations. He would run the day to day. And one day he told me, you know, a lot of what we're doing here, I could very easily replicate it, and you know, we could do something. So this company had like about 60 people. Had all kinds of, you know, managers, directors, all the way up to the president. And for me, I was just kind of like the engineer. But I was also the engineer that, you know, would do a 14-hour day, even though I was salaried by this point, just because I wanted to make sure that the company had all the support it needed from me. So this president of operations, he saw that, you know, 14-hour day was what it was all about. Like whatever needed to be done, like I was the guy. And it was work ethic that really turned me into that, like that type of a person. So that's when I founded my first company with him on the side, which was a machine shop or a manufacturing company focusing on CNC machining for any of the machining guys out there. There we were open for about 14 months. There's like this statistics of all the new businesses that close in the first year.
Yeah.
So 14 months, I'm pretty much there. But that was probably the best time of my life, because that was about 90 to 100 hours a week. It was Monday through Saturday, like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then Sunday, 6 a.m. to like 3 p.m. So I mean, it was work, sleep 7 days a week, no rest whatsoever. Yeah. But I mean, those 14 months were pretty amazing, because I really felt like I was building something, and I got addicted to that sensation of working for myself, of doing for me. So once you start working for yourself and like build your own wealth, like you just don't see yourself kind of
working for somebody again.
Yeah, and building their wealth up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, any company that you ever work with, they're always going to make more money off you than what you make off them, or else the company wouldn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's always the mentality. So that was my really like first exploration with entrepreneurship when I was in my kind of early to mid 20s. And yeah, that's what really got me hooked into doing that.
I remember that shit.
Me too.
Because you'd rarely come out. When you did, it was like, yeah, I
just finished work the next morning.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
I think for the kickbacks, I would show up like right after work, which is like 9:30.
Yeah. And
then I would say, oh, I got to work at 6 a.m. But, you know.
But he's still here till like
party it up. Yeah.
He's still here till 2, 3, catches a nap in the car, and then get back to it.
Yep.
I remember that shit, man.
I have a question. So, what is engineering? What is engineering exactly? Like, what is it that you do?
So my, like, what I used to do, or what do I do right now?
Well, like, I guess.
Bro, he's a jefe now, dog.
No. Not what you do now, but like you're saying, like you're an engineer. So what is it that an engineer does? What is engineering?
So my particular field was mechanical engineering. The specialty really is with moving mechanics or moving parts, whether it's an engine, a turbine, anything that really moves. It could be a fridge. If the door handle moves, we have to design it, because that hinge has to be perfect in order for it to perfectly swing and close without it hitting anything else. But you know, there's a lot of different fields of engineering. If you go, you know, chemical, it's all about, you know, making paints and stuff like that. Computer science, they make the programming, which makes all the electronics run. Civil, pretty much they do all the buildings, bridges, as long as it doesn't move. Like, let's say it's a drawbridge, then you have to bring a mechanical engineer, because if something moves, we have to be the ones to design it.
Okay, so you design is what? You design mechanical things that move.
Yeah, pretty much. For example, for this company, the first one I founded, that one, it focused on microwaves. So we were building parts to give it to a company that would assemble them into like a microwave. So we would build like little guides, so that when what generates the actual microwave, we would help it get from point A to point B, so that it would like cook your food and stuff like that.
Shit. Okay. Smart people shit.
Smart people shit.
And what went wrong? Why didn't it go past the 14 months?
It was a combination. Anytime you start a business, your first year, don't expect to make money. You're always going to take a loss. If you go with the mentality other than that, you're just not going to make it. So just expect that, because that's been my experience in any company I've started. Yep. What cost us there is we didn't diversify our customer base. We only had one main customer that was feeding us everything, and we were happy because we were starting to make money. So we were happy with that, with having that customer. But at that point, we should have diversified. Yep. So what ended up happening is that customer, the liaison between us and them, they ended up moving to a different company, and we lost that relationship. So then I founded the company, and there was a co-founder that was working with me. I would do more of the day-to-day operations of how to make something a reality. I'll take it from a two-piece flat piece of paper into like an actual part, and he would handle all the sales, all the accounting, stuff like that. Side. Yes, exactly. Where I was. Yeah, there you go. So what happened there is, after we lost our one customer that was bringing in the real money, then we had a decision to make of like, we're getting big enough, we have a couple employees where we're both gonna have to like commit fully to making this happen, or we have to stop it right here, because we lost our only customer. So we're gonna have a couple of months where we're gonna take deep losses now, because we have employees now. So then the question was left up for about a week, and then he decided that, he wasn't comfortable, really doing that jump of faith. And then he offered that if, I could buy him out, like I would take over the company 100%. And by this point I was, maybe 24, 25, and I didn't feel comfortable going to the bank, getting a huge loan, and like putting all of this on my shoulders. Yeah. So then I decided, I'm just going to cut the losses here. In terms of financial losses, it wasn't great for me because I didn't provide a lot of the capital. But it was one of those things where it was sad that it ended.
Yeah. What was the next thing?
The next thing for me was probably in my career. So I was an engineer. I was an engineer for about 2 companies. And then I moved to this new one, where I was given the opportunity to be a manufacturing engineer for them for about a year. And then an opportunity arose to, instead of doing the engineering thing, which is what I was doing, I'll go into operations. As a supervisor. Which is pretty much going into leadership. The money was great, so I was
hell yeah.
Yeah. So even as a supervisor, like, it was too good to pass up. Yeah. So I had to do it, and then doing it, I also kind of like the responsibility. My work ethic was the same work ethic, so 12-hour days for whatever it took. Like, I was gonna make it happen. Started kind of making this was a much larger organization by this point. Yeah. Started making a name for myself as the guy who can get things done. So by that point, I think I was a supervisor for about a year and 2 months. Then they gave me the opportunity to be a manager, so the money got even better.
Yeah.
And this is all happening like in my 9 to 5, even though I was actually going in like at 6 a.m. and then leaving at 5, something like that. And then I've been a manager for about 3 years, and then I saw an opportunity to be a director. So now in my organization, which is we're about a $500 million organization in terms of revenue per year. Right now, around 900 employees. I am by far the youngest director, and then I'm the director, the youngest in the history of the organization. When I was a manager, I was the youngest manager also. So a funny story is most people in my job don't know my real age because
really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
They all think I'm 35.
What the fuck?
Shit.
Yeah. And they believe it just because of how I carry myself and, the maturity and how I run a meeting and the fact that, I do things at a much more mature level.
Mature, yeah.
So yeah, most people think I'm 35. So anytime people ask me my age,
You just say 35.
I say 35, and that's just like no one knows my real age because I don't know if I would be a director now if some of the executives knew I was 28.
Yeah. Damn. Fake it till you make it.
Well, they do now. Shit. He's 28 and he's still running a company. I know this job that you're at now gave you a pretty big opportunity with your brother. So why don't you talk to us about that one?
So that was I guess my second company. My second company, my brother has always been in trucking. So he has always kind of worked for someone. So then the thought came of like, I still have that itch. I mean, even today, I still have an itch to start something else.
Yeah.
Because, it's not like one company is never enough.
No.
You got to diversify. So about 3 years ago, my brother, he was kind of frustrated. His life wasn't really doing what it needed to do for him and for his family. So I told him, hey, I'll put in the capital. We'll start our own trucking company. And then, where my previous experience, I was always in the back, and there was always the other founder was the face. Yeah. And this one, my brother is actually the one, doing the day-to-day, making sure we have runs and keeping my other drivers busy. And I'm doing all the accounting, all the sales, all the talks with the insurance companies, and all that CEO type stuff. So I'm learning a whole different side of running an organization. Yeah. So 3 years, right now we have three trucks going. Looking to get the fourth. Interesting about this one is it kind of followed the same path. The first year, there was heavy losses on me because I provided all the capital. Mm-hmm. Because by this point, I was a supervisor. I was going to management, so I had a capital to spend. But there was pretty heavy losses the first year, but then it just started kind of going from there. I haven't actually taken any money, so I've been running it, doing all the accounting, all the taxes for about 3 years, and I still haven't seen a check from it, just because all the money we're making, because the profit margins are really great in the trucking business.
Especially now.
Oh yeah, I'm reinvesting it into the organization, so that way I can grow it faster, and I'm getting paid so well on my 9 to 5.
You don't have to worry about
I don't have to worry. So even though I'm not taking a check today, I know that I'm building up this company to get that
equity in the company.
Exactly.
Instead of yourself right now.
Exactly.
Smart, man. That's the type of knowledge that people need to understand. And I think coming from where we're from, in those situations where, like you said, you're thinking of, do we have enough food in the fridge? Is that money going to last us till the next paycheck? Shit like that. A lot of the times we mess ourselves up into thinking like, well, shit, that's making money. I'm going to take the money and I'm going to keep the money. I'm going to keep the money, instead of like you're doing and investing it back into what's making you money in order to make you even more money. And that's just like, that's knowledge. That's the game that people need. I think a lot of times they don't get, because you don't get this shit in traditional schooling. Like, even from somebody that took business classes, like, they don't teach you this shit. They don't tell you this shit.
But don't you think it's hard? Like, I mean, maybe you can speak from experience, but I see it as in like, shit, my company's making money. Like, I'm finally making like good money. Like, I'm gonna take it now that I have it safe, and, like, instead of risking it for the future, kind of.
That's just another one of the traps. You get me? Like, that's another societal trap that you fall into because of that mentality. Instead of building lifelong wealth and generational wealth, you're thinking of the now. You want that instant satisfaction.
How do you teach that to people though? How do you get me? Like that. I'm not saying me because I understand, but like people, how do you convince somebody out there to do that? Like, how did you learn it? How did you like come up with that idea of I'm gonna do this?
For me, I mean, it was really just kind of common sense in terms of like, if I want this to be big, if I want this to actually be something that, you know, could retire me early. Cause I mean, my plan right now, you know, great. I actually got promoted like 2 weeks ago to director.
Yeah.
So,
he was at the Rams games. I saw that.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
So I was super ecstatic about that. But at the end of the day, I just don't see myself like working for the man and spending my entire life trying to make somebody else rich when, you know, I want to be rich. You have
that opportunity.
Yeah. I'd rather do it for myself. So it's just that mentality of if you want something to get big, you're going to have to make sacrifices. If you really study some of these like great like entrepreneur types that, you know, Microsoft, Apple, Tesla now, I mean, they made a lot of sacrifices early in the years, you know, working out of garages and things of that nature until it grew to a point where they were comfortable actually taking a small piece. Yep. And even then, you know, you don't see them with the, I saw like a meme with the no Gucci belt in sight because they don't spend money like that because it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. They don't spend it on dumbass shit. Well, who is it? I think is it Zuckerberg that takes $1 a year?
Oh yeah, from his
takes $1 a year off of Facebook. Like that's all he takes as actual.
It's Meta now.
Meta, whatever. Whatever. He can call it whatever he wants. Fuck, I forgot where I was going with this shit.
Well, I'm gonna lighten it up real quick. Okay. You know how they always ask like all the professional rookies, like, all right, you made your first big contract, your first big paycheck. What was your first big purchase?
Big purchase?
First big money purchase.
Hasn't existed yet, honestly.
Hasn't gotten it?
Like, I'm really into cars, and I was actually this car I have right now. Yeah. So I was gonna buy something a lot more expensive. Like, I was already like, I had my mind on it. Like, I felt I deserved it. I felt I got to a point in my life where I deserved to get a nice car. And then the morning of, my brother, who's, you know, my business partner, he told me, you know, that's not what what's the author for like Poor Dad and Rich Dad, whatever that guy's name is. That's not what, because we always reference this when we're gonna do something stupid financially. Yeah. Like, oh, that's not what this guy would do. So he told me that, and I just like
fuck damn.
He destroyed me. I was like, man, I was gonna get a nice car. But I ended up not spending that money and not making that big purchase to just get something that's gonna nicely take me to A and B. But no, I haven't rewarded myself yet, and honestly, I don't really plan to. You don't plan to in the near future.
You did buy the house though, right?
So my dad passed away, so I just kind of took over the payments. Yeah.
I mean, still doing it, you know.
Yeah, still a house.
I guess that's a big deal. I think that's a big.
Oh yeah,
over. Yeah, it's like a lot of people's goal and dreams, like to own a house and stuff. So.
Yeah, and then, it's nice. It's a nice big duplex. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Bad neighborhood, but hey, I'm used to it.
Hey, bro, a house is a house, man. Mm-hmm. You can't complain on that shit. What are your plans for the future? Like, do you have anything in mind? Like another company you're trying to start, or? I mean, obviously, just getting a promotion is a big deal, but.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to stick with a job for a while, just because I'm still not gonna be able to put enough income from these side stuff I'm doing. I have a thought that I don't know if I'm gonna share here, because I think it's a genius thought. I think it's gonna revolutionize a sector of Southern California.
Okay. This is an off-record idea.
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
I'm gonna have to get you guys to sign like an NDA or something like that for this one.
I'm too broke to start shit, man.
Yeah, but so
you got some ideas?
I have an idea. You know, I've never actually started a company by myself. You know, The machine shop, it was I had that partner. The trucking, I had a partner, and I think I needed another one for this one. Maybe a couple because it's pretty big. But it's one of those, if it takes off, which I think it will, it could really be something new in Southern California that it currently doesn't have. And there's like a new like legal loophole and everything. So it just, the stars are aligning.
Okay.
But yeah, so right now I just have to find some people that are not that are willing to do those 90-hour weeks if that's what's required, in order to completely turn their lives upside down.
Need a degree for these jobs? Because I'll drop out right now. You say the words.
You're too fucking lazy, dog. He gets home tired from doing Parks and Rec, dog. He goes to sleep.
Come on now.
Shifts are boring.
Yeah, so in terms of that, I have that going on. In terms of my career, I couldn't be more happy right now. Yeah. In terms of what I'm able to do, the support I'm able to give a lot of people. Right now I have over 100 people under me right now, so I take that responsibility, and the fact that it's a company of 900, but 100 of them report to me. I understand that I have to
take a big sector of that.
I have to do a good job in order for the organization to succeed. Personally, been kind of contemplating the last couple, maybe even a year or two, that COVID like coma in terms of like growth and things of that nature. This promotion obviously gets rid of that for me. So now it's a matter of what I really want to do right now. I see kind of like paths in front of me. One, I could like heavily pursue this business, which I really think is what I'm gonna decide to do, because that's really where I want to be. Mm-hmm. The other one was getting a master's, going for the
we talked about that.
Getting the MBA. But an MBA is great if you're really looking to be an executive in an organization one day. To work for someone. And exactly. That's really not, I don't think, in the plans anymore for me. So I think an MBA now is just me wasting 2 years of my life instead of doing something that's for me. For you. Yeah, which is going to make me a boss instead of better at working for someone as a boss, Yep. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm starting to lean away from the MBA and really just do a lot more kind of learning on the internet. Anything you need to know, it's on there.
I find that's the best way to do it.
And then starting this company, this new one, and then been looking into property. I've been messing around with stocks and
that was.
Oh, where we were going
to? Yeah, that's what we're gonna jump into next. Because
I won't go there right now, but yeah, that's what it is for me right now.
Well, let's just before we move on, just let's say I want to start a business tomorrow, right? I want to start a trucking or a manufacturing business. What are my first steps?
Money.
Okay, I know that much, but fuck it, I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna buy a warehouse and like start working, or how does?
No.
You get what I'm saying? Like, how does that start?
How do you progress into?
Yes.
No, you don't want to. It's one of those things where like I never took any business classes when I was going to school, but I know how to write a business plan just because YouTube's an amazing learning tool where it will teach you how to like do a business plan. Yeah. So definitely it's one of those things where you want to plan it like so. Plan your working capital, plan the losses that you're going to be taking, plan everything ahead of time. If you're doing it by yourself, make sure you have the time and dedication to do it. If you're going to do it with partners, make sure you have everything white and black in terms of how much everybody's going to own and things of that nature, the percentage, because it's one of those things where messing with friends or families or teaming up with them is great, but you want everything on paper.
Yeah.
You don't want misunderstandings in between friends and family are the worst.
Now you can go.
You sure?
I think so.
All right. Well, you mentioned stocks, so let's go into stocks because I think that's another thing that people from where we're from don't get to early enough. And
that's me.
Oh, you, yeah. But I've seen it and maybe it's because of COVID, but it's kind of grown recently to where people are now kind of like, oh shit, stocks, like these shits are good. So you got into stocks pretty early.
Yeah.
On this Robinhood shit. And I think that's a great way to secure some investments for your future. And I talk about stocks as investments, not as fucking day traders, because you do investments, not day trading. Day trading, I think people get the wrong idea about that shit, and they don't realize that 90% of them actually fucking lose money. So we're talking about stocks as investments. Mm-hmm. So what game can you give these people? Like, what advice would you give them?
So I would probably give the worst advice, because I got into stocks in like 2014, mm-hmm. and I bought Bitcoin when it was worth cents.
And you fucking sold the shit.
And I sold it like a year later, and I made $100.
Fuck.
If I would have kept it, like,
retired
about
already.
It too, huh?
Retired
like $500,000. I would have like $500,000 in Bitcoin.
Damn.
Oh, it hurts. It hurts me to this day. In terms of stocks, it's one of those things where you really try to kind of diversify your portfolio. You have your 9 to 5, you have your side hustles, and then you have your investments. Stocks is a great safe investment. There's a lot of fluctuation in stocks. I mean, you'll always see it.
You'll see it today, this week.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. I lost 10,000 in 2 weeks. Yeah,
it's terrible.
But before that I made 20,000 in 6 months. So it's one of those things. Right now I'm buying heavily just because everything dipped. You want to buy the dip, dips, yeah. So I'm putting a ton of money in stocks right now, just because I'm doing that. But it's safer income if you keep your money in the bank. Inflation, you end up losing money. The bank is literally like taking some of your money, and that's really how you have to kind of imagine it. Same thing as buying a car that's the same year. Just imagine that you just take $5,000 and you just burned it up in your hand, because that's what happened as soon as you drive off that lot.
Appreciation.
Yep. And then same thing with a bank. Anything you have in the bank, it's losing its value. So just imagine every year the bank is actually taking some of your money. Stocks does not do that. It either keeps up with inflation, or it historically does better than inflation.
Yeah, historically goes up 10% yearly. But I mean, I think a lot of people are put off by it because of shit like that's going on right now. Yeah. You're seeing 10-20% losses in a day, and you're just like, what the hell's going on? But it's an investment. It's not this day trading shit. You put your money into these big companies that you trust in that historically have good numbers, and by the end of the year you should be up a couple percent.
Yeah And it's pretty much like clockwork. I mean, there's always going to be bad years, there's going to be great years, but the trend is just always going to be above inflation, which the banks, it's always going to be below.
Yeah, it's always below.
So let's say you invest in this company, and then you just let it sit there for years, and you don't check it, or you check it to make sure it's...
Oh no, check it.
Yeah.
Okay. Check it. Don't just like throw your money into this shit and let it go. Like, you always want to keep up, because ideally you're choosing a company you either like or historically is always putting up bigger numbers. So you don't want to just leave it and check it. The company could go bankrupt, or could
have bad leadership.
Yeah, bad leadership, and the company just falls to shit, and you're asked out. You always want to keep up with what's going on with the company. And a lot of these apps that you use to invest actually give you like news on the company. So
yeah, like there was this Netflix. I owned quite a bit of Netflix. I made a lot of money with Netflix. But then I sold it 100%. I got out just because I felt that there was all this new competition with Disney and all these companies challenging it. And I thought, okay, it did great for me. I'm very happy.
Time to cut ties.
Time to cut ties. And then about a month later, Netflix decided to buy a huge gaming or video game maker.
That's right.
in Burbank or something like that. And it shot up because I think, yes.
Gaming
so
in the app.
What I did is I understood what Netflix was doing as an organization, but I didn't know how dynamic the CEO of Netflix was. In order, it himself saw that he was getting capped. that the growth was gonna maybe not decrease but not increase anymore because of all this competition. So he delved into a new sector. So now you're gonna be able to watch a movie and play a video game on Netflix. I didn't know that. If I would have kept it, I would have made thousands more. But it's one of those things where you have to study, you have to keep up with it, and
it happens. You're gonna make profit and sometimes not make the full profit that you could have. But I mean, like with everything else,
could have held on to it and gone the opposite way.
It's all in hindsight.
Yeah. You just have to kind of keep up with it, see what they're doing, see what the CEO believes in, where he's gonna take the organization, and if you think there's a avenue there for growth, then stick with them. If you think no, this is what it is, there's more competition coming, then cash out and go to the next company you believe in.
For someone that's like, I would say like younger and like not in their career yet, not making good money yet. So me. What, like, do I invest in stocks now? What do I invest in? How much do I invest in? Or like, what would you recommend?
10%.
10%?
10%.
Yeah, that's
of what I
common
make,
rule.
or of like my check?
No, your check.
Okay.
Of your check, your weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is you're getting, 10%.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially if you have like a part-time job and you really don't have like that 401k plan type of shit, which you should either way. 10% of what you're making, put it into stocks.
So let's just say we'll keep it bi-weekly because most part-times are bi-weekly. $1,000 bi-weekly. Each paycheck, I'm investing another $100.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it same company or different company? Or would that be up to me kind of like studying it and looking?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could do I wouldn't say same company because you have to diversify the portfolio.
Yeah.
So you can even do kind of like an ETF. You can actually put in the S&P 500 or something like that. Somewhere where you don't have to really worry about it. It's just gonna be there. I mean, that's gonna be diversify you enough, and then you just kind of see the money go up.
Yeah, I would say if you're starting out, definitely look at ETFs and kind of start off there because basically an ETF is going to follow a certain sector. Like there's technology ETFs or medical ones or whatever it is. You can put your money in there and it's still going to do the same thing. And you don't have to worry about a specific company. It basically puts it into a bunch of companies within that sector. Once you're able to put in a little more money, then you can start going in and picking your different companies. And like you said, you want to diversify that shit. You don't want to have all your money just in like the automobile sector or the fucking technology or whatever it is. You want to be able to have your money flowing around in different sectors because you've seen it before. It was like the .com boom. So all these, internet companies and all that shit shot up. A lot of people now talk about like the medical field and like medical technologies and shit. So a lot of people putting a lot of money in that shit. You saw electric vehicles and like solar power type shit. You want to be able to be in all the different markets.
Okay. When I'm investing in this, I'm investing for when I'm where you guys are now or for when I am retired and stuff.
I think it depends on the investor, but personally, it's long term. Like obviously, you're gonna take your gains wherever you see them, but I would say like 3 to 5 years on certain things, and then that's usually the timeline.
Does that follow that same rule that we were talking about earlier for like everything you gain, instead of pulling it out, you would just reinvest it?
Yeah, you would do that.
I haven't pulled out any money from any of my stocks. They've all gone back in.
For me, usually I treat kind of like my brokerage firm, which is Robinhood, as kind of like my bank. So I put my money in there, I invest it, so it keeps growing. It beats the inflation, so it's better than an actual bank.
Yeah.
And then I have like completely pulled it out twice in my life. Both times it was to start a business. So I treat it as a bank, an active bank, where I would first have to sell my stock, then put everything back into the brokerage firm. Then I pull everything out. Then I get a huge cashier's check, and then buy my first trucks or buy a machine for that business. So that's kind of how I treat it. So it's my bank until I need to spend money, big money on my next big idea or business, and then I pull it all out, spend what I have to spend. If I don't have to pull it all out, great. But both the businesses took me to pull it all out, and then I start the business, and then as I'm going, I slowly recuperate that money from my 9 to 5 and start investing it again, treating it as my bank.
It's just funny you say that, because you're seeing these, I think like Venmo and Cash App and all this shit are starting to put out like debit or credit cards and shit. So I'm sure at some point it'll end up getting to that point where you can actually be like a fucking bank. Yeah, and then they give you, in terms of the interest, I mean, usually it's better. Yeah, a lot better. Yeah. See, that's that free game, bro. It's a free game for your ass.
I mean, I always have it available for me. One thing that I always love and respect about Sam is every time he sees me, he always asks me like, how's school? How's this going? And then like he'll tell me about what's going on in his life and give me like a little mini lesson on this shit. And then any questions I have, he always answers. So I know I can always go to him. And then, well, you know what's up too. You're just a little bit more of an asshole about it. But everybody listening, they don't got Sam.
They do now. They got Sam now.
Yeah, and it's something even in my job, I do see kind of like the younger crowd, new engineers coming up, just regular assemblers that are hustling and trying to do something. And I always try to kind of take them under my wing. Like, thankfully, the first company I went to, that the president of operations that ended up starting my first business with him, he did the same thing for me. Big shout out to Mike for doing that for me. So then I have the mentality to just kind of do that for the next generation.
To give it back.
Yeah.
I think that's a great mentality to have, because at any fucking sector of business, it's always cutthroat and like I'll try to get above the next person and shit like that. And it's important to have these things like this mentorship style of leadership, because they need it too. Like you can see a guy with the most potential you've ever seen, but they don't get this knowledge and they can fuck around, lose that money, and then you're fucked. Like, instead, where you can like nurture this potential that they have, give it the knowledge it needs, and you see them fucking grow just the same way you did. Like, you need that shit.
Yeah, and I've just in my experience just seen a lot of people just be very receptive. And then just, hopefully it does good for them, because all the advice, it was given to me at one point and it's been doing great for me. Yeah.
You're a testament to the knowledge that's been given, Like, you need that shit. You're the fucking, like I said, you're the guy I brag about, bro. It's like, just do what Sam did. Don't fucking follow me. Do what Sam did.
I have a question. Maybe, I guess I'm throwing it out there as it comes to my head, so I don't know if it makes sense. But how has it been now that you're a director of a big company? Mm-hmm. When I think, and I'm assuming most people think like directors of big companies and CEOs, they always think like the white man's world. Mm-hmm. So how has it been to like step into that world, and have you had to make any like changes or kind of like suck things up if they're assholes or racist? Like,
you know what? I haven't had like that type of an experience of like racism at work or really in anything I've done in terms of my work life. I think one of my skill sets, one of the things I'm really good at, is being able to take tough personalities that are around me, older white gentlemen could be that, and immediately, like, I would say, deflate them and make them like me. And once they do that, then they start teaching you and like, even being a little mentor to you. Mm-hmm. So it's, for me, it's pretty easy to get someone even with like a tough personality, and who talks a little bit tough to everyone, and get them to like me and get them to teach me something. And I always kind of fake the you're my mentor, I'm the guy like learning.
I don't know anything. Yeah. Teach me. Yeah. Oh,
and that gets them, that they want to teach, they want to feel important, a lot of them, hey, maybe their kids don't listen to them, but if you listen to them, they'll teach you.
If you give them that feeling of like, yes, you're so important.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're faking it, dude, it goes a long way.
Yeah, and then I think that's one of the strong points of me is there's a lot in the industry, in any industry, there's a lot of tough personalities, but it's being able to, you know, bring down the walls and get them to like you. And because once they like you, then they teach you. And then once they teach you, you learn something, you learn a completely different sector of an organization. And then and you just take all that knowledge and you just keep going up faster than everybody else.
Well, it's like we said in one of our conversations before, but like getting into the circle.
Yeah.
You have to get into that circle. Once you're in that circle is when you get your eyes open to everything. And you get your...
And that was a skill set because, I mean, when I was a manager, which I was a manager for about 3 years, you know, by that point, all the other managers, you know, they knew of VPs, but they were inviting me to their house. They were inviting me to go grab a beer or to watch a fight or to go to a football game with them in like fucking amazing seats.
I'm telling you, man, that Rams game, bro, I'm jealous.
Just because
he ain't take me to those seats.
Just because they liked me and I built that relationship with them, where other managers didn't. You know, they were there 8-9 hours. I was there 12. If they were late at night, I would make sure, like, I would walk by their door just so they know, like, hey, like,
I'm still here.
I'm still here
I'm
too.
here with you. Yeah.
And then when they get it there at 8 a.m., I make sure they see my car there at 6 a.m. kind of thing. Just so that it's understood that, you know, I'm at that level. Yep. Where other managers and other people are just not willing to
make those sacrifices.
Exactly.
Go the extra mile to show that you got it too.
Yep.
Built different, bro. Built different. Isn't that like a truck? This is like the F-150 or something?
I think Ford.
No, built tough. They're built tough. All right. You got any more knowledge or advice that you want to give out, be it school or stocks or professionally or whatever it is?
Advice.
Fucking in life in general.
My main thing is just give it 100%, whatever you're doing. You know, a lot of people live their life and they just kind of exist in the world. And then there's people that really want to change it and really want to do something special. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes motivation every single time you get up. There is no off days. There is no I'm gonna take this week off or anything like that. I mean, I have so much vacation hours. I'm not even accruing anymore, but yet I still don't take a vacation because I just don't. You know, I'm not at the level where I even feel I deserve a vacation. Even though, you know, you guys very nicely talk about my successes, I still feel the need to prove myself every single day to myself, really. And yeah, so anything anyone does, just do it at 100%. And if you really want to do something special, that's really what it's going to take. And if you're not, then, you know, I guess you're just going to exist.
I think one thing that people should definitely take away from this, along with that, is it takes a lot. And I think a lot of people want this fantasy of like the overnight celebrity type thing where you just wake up and you're fucking rich or you're important. It should take hours and dedication and fucking work. And I think you have to be able to be willing to put in that work for whatever it is you're trying to do.
Yeah, no, it takes years. I mean, to this day, all the money I've made is just what I'm making my 9 to 5, even though I've, you know, done 90-hour weeks and, you know, do all this extra stuff. I see no fruits of that labor because it's not ready for me to pick the fruit yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, to switch gears a little bit. Well, actually, fucking lot. Well, another one of the main reasons why me and this guy get along so well. He's a fucking Eagles fan, homie.
Yes, sir.
Boo.
Go Birds. Shut the fuck up. So real quick, just to end on a different style of topic, what made you an Eagles fan? Because we grew up in the same era where there was no fucking team here.
Yeah.
So you basically got to pick any of the 32 you wanted. So what drew you to the Eagles?
So when I was growing up, I was very much into soccer, both playing it and watching it. So I actually didn't get into football until a little later in life when I was like a teenager. And that's when it was like the 2003, 2004 season. That's when I think they lost in the Super Bowl.
To who? Who did they lose to?
Shut up.
Yeah.
And I just loved how Donovan McNabb and Brian Westbrook would play. I mean, the way they would play was just amazing to me. So then, even though they lost in the Super Bowl to some loser ass team,
a fucking cheating ass team,
I still just really loved how that combination was, and then I just became an Eagles fan. And Brian Westbrook has always been my favorite player, or my favorite bird.
Damn right.
It's crazy because, I mean, obviously I wasn't like a huge football fan. I was 3-4 years old.
Uh-huh.
But like I go back and watch those highlights and like that Eagles team, and it's like I can see why a lot of people no. Like I see why a lot of people became Eagles fans or like have a lot of respect for those, like that Eagles team, that Eagles era. Like they're dope. That Brian Dawkins the middle, dude. Like that.
Yeah.
That shit was like, I can see why the Eagles were the Eagles back then.
Yeah, and I'm one of those people, like I'm extremely loyal to my soccer, to my teams in general, whether it's soccer, football, basketball. So once I choose a team, like
that's it
for life.
Yep. I don't know, Sam. You're looking like a Chargers fan to me now.
Nah, none of that. No,
I don't know.
It's just we get the opportunity to have like, football now, dude. Like
tickets, man.
Come on,
I can't say no to season tickets.
We ain't have a football team here for so long. It don't matter who's playing, you gotta go.
What do you think of the new stadium?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm there every other week, and it's usually like a day event because we found like a nice little crew to tailgate before every Chargers game. So then we get there like 5 hours before kickoff, and then after the game's done, we go back and keep tailgating until like the parking is like completely empty. And they're like driving around with the little golf carts to security,
telling us to get out.
telling us to get out. But we've been there like super late, especially for those evening games. Just post gaming also. So it's I mean, it's a day event, but it's I'm a fan of the sport, so I'm happy I was able to go to so many games this season.
That's cool. It's dope. All right,
so gotta make my way there.
Oh, you still haven't gone?
Still haven't gone.
It's pretty good. I mean, I'm still a big fan of the Bank of California Stadium for the LAFC also, but SoFi is pretty nice too.
I haven't gone to that one.
Well, we gotta go to a game this season, definitely.
To what?
The LAFC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's good crowd.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I went one time their inaugural season, and it made an impression. I was like, yeah.
I wanted to get season tickets, but like I don't know. None of you guys are big enough soccer fans, or
I ain't gotta be a soccer fan to enjoy that shit.
For season tickets, you have to commit.
I know enough. I like it enough, and I like beer enough.
I don't make enough.
and I make enough.
That's my excuse. I don't make enough.
When does that season start? We gotta go for real.
It should be coming up right now, because soccer season's gonna start kicking off.
I have to get into it with no baseball. I have to be MLS fans.
I'll still get in there with my hat, bro.
Huh?
I'll get in there with my hat. What are you talking about?
Your hat.
What did you say?
I said we got to get into the MLS with no baseball season now.
Into the MLS with no hat. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You did say no hat.
No
right?
Hat.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I'm not tripping. See, every time you say that I'm tripping, I'm not tripping. It's you.
Right, well, what I meant to say is we got to get into the soccer now that there's no baseball season.
Hey, don't say that shit. Don't say that shit.
It's happening, right?
They talked today for 2 hours. It was going good. They're going to meet tomorrow. Don't say that shit, bro. I'll be in a worse depression than I was in fucking coronavirus.
When's spring training supposed to start?
March? No, February.
Oh,
late February.
They always do that. They always wait until like right when it's going to get going, and then they agree to something. Where nobody is happy.
Well, it was bad because before today they had only spoke once.
Yeah, they spoke it was just like one time, and they're just even, like I think 20 minutes or something, and they're like, nah, this is not happening.
Yeah, but then the pressure of like spring training is about to start. It's like now people's money is at risk.
The owners don't want to lose their money,
and the players don't want to lose their money. Yeah. So the pressure gets going for them.
We'll see. I got plans to go to fucking Colorado and shit, so they need to get
Really?
together. Yeah, I'm close to
You're
finishing the West Coast.
Oh, shit.
I need Denver and I need Houston. I guess Houston's technically the central.
Oh, you know, I have my brother and my sister are in Houston.
No, you told me Texas, but I didn't know where.
Yeah, I go to Houston.
Oh, it's it, dude. Let's go to a game.
Oh, it's a good time.
There it is.
I have a question. Do you move from LA or do you want to stay in LA for the rest of your life?
I like California. I see myself staying in California. The cities I like the most is LA and San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah, I love San Diego. It's
Fucking love it.
yeah, so definitely.
Yo, we haven't done San Diego together yet.
No, and I love going. I do day trips.
Yeah.
Just go there. Go to the gas lamp for a while. Then go to where all the college bars are, like right in front of the ocean.
Pacific Beach.
I think
PB?
so.
Yep. PB.
And then I drive back by like 6-7 p.m.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah. Just spend a whole Saturday over there.
Yeah, I go and fucking grab a burger, and that's my day. I go for food, dude. I literally would go just to eat at Hodad's. I think I've sent you there.
You did, but I don't think I made it.
Oh god damn it!
We gotta go.
That's it. Find an excuse, bro.
He looked at the time like, is it too late to go right now?
I was thinking like,
He was like, let's see. Hold on.
I was thinking like, what do I got going on this Saturday?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Right? Bingo's not busy.
Do you work?
Nope.
There you go.
There it is. Let's do this shit. All right. You've heard of the podcast enough, so you already know what's going on. I need a song title for your episode.
The whole drive over here, that's what I was like contemplating the most. Like which I was going through like my whole little playlist to find it. So I've had a lot of like good songs throughout my life that really like to find that moment.
Yep.
This moment right here though.
To find this moment, Sam.
I'm gonna go with We Own It.
We Own It.
2 Chainz and Wiz Khalifa.
2 Chainz. I like it.
Best that first verse, the best one.
There you go.
There's also one thing about Sam. He listens to a lot of the podcasts. Like I don't think we mentioned that.
Oh yeah,
He
listened.
actually
we
listens.
didn't mention it, but
He's like
Sam's like low key day one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not even low key, high key day one.
Yeah, every episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every episode. And I love the fact that you tell me when shit fucking sucked.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, nah, get back to what the fuck it was. Like that was too long. That one sucked. Like I love that shit. He's real. He's the homie. And he's the guy I fucking brag about. So if y'all ever heard me give a story about my engineer homie Sam, this is him. That's an episode. Oh shit, hold on. Do you want to throw your socials out there?
I don't really mess around with social media too much.
I know you don't.
I have the my Instagram is Samster_COR, but I don't post anything.
He doesn't.
I don't.
You'll just see his badass seats at the Rams game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I put that on my story all the time. Yeah.
Just look be there sitting jealous like damn.
Shit, the time he took me, I was right there fucking posting everything. I was in that bitch.
That was a good time. Good time.
It was. All right. We'll wrap it up. That's an episode. Catch you guys next week. We didn't do our social media.
I go first?
You go first.
You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Garcia74_.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at +size_assassin, 1S and +size. Okay, now we'll see you next week.
Wait, hold up. Have random people followed you?
Yes.
Random people have followed me too, and I'm like, is it from the podcast or is it just like random ass people? And I think we had one person that was the same person that we both didn't know.
Yeah.
So
maybe I never followed them back.
Me either. Maybe it worked.
Peace.